Hi, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Alyssa.
We're your buttons babes. This week we are picking up on Things We Hate About TV Part 2.
8.
Toxic and abusive relationships and the stalkery vibes that are oh so loved but oh so bad for us.
As we were spitballing this just a second ago, run rampant in television. I was like, is there a show that depicts a healthy relationship? And it was taking me a long time to find it. I'm not saying that they're not out there, but
Please drop them in the comments if we. Yes.
Please, thank you. We have we hit on the French Prince of Bel-Air. Everybody loved Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. That was a thriving relationship. Oh my God, that might have been
The Huxtables.
Oh yes, the Cosby Show. The relationship in the Cosby Show.
To be clear.
Yes, but we realize because. Yes, conflict is what sells. That is what people want to see. That's what makes things interesting. But romanticizing it, it gets tricky. Mm-hmm. I think it personally makes me uncomfortable because I have realized I was like, oh, I was one of those women who thought that that's what love was.
Same. I think. This is what I hate about that in entertainment is I have been the dummy that was yes, if he doesn't treat me this way, he really any excuse in the book to justify being or wanting to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me. Loved, he's just not that into you, the book, the movie.
So great.
Because it was such a duh, that I think, I don't know, Disney fairy tales have been shoved down our throat. Love them for nostalgia, but there's a lot of toxicity in there. And waiting for the fairy prince, or not fairy prince, but sure, fairy prince for many of us, you. But knight in shining armor.
You need to be rescued and saved.
Wait,
I'm not in distress. Wait a minute. When you actually think about it, I'm I don't need to be saved. I'm the one that needs to save myself.
Right.
But then also that aspect of, for a while I thought if fights, what a fight should be is it's passion, it's screaming, it's yelling at each other. To me, that was love. Oh my God, you're not fighting with me.
You don't have passion,
me.
so
you don't care about me. This doesn't bother you. I look back, I'm beach. Past Alyssa, the actual fuck. With some of the relationships that I had and the things that I thought was love, and what I allowed people to get away with in our relationships because
that's how it is.
Normal, right?
Yeah.
Being emotionally abusive is normal. Gaslighting me is normal. And then when you start and even stalking. I have been told, by the individual that was doing the stalking, this is what love is, and there are people telling you you need to get back to me, and I'm and in my head I'm is that right? I'm no, bitch, no, this is not a movie. You are not a TV series because that shit is toxic. And it took a while because it's what we're surrounded by.
That's what we know.
Right?
Yeah, that's what we see. I am now in a healthy relationship that I don't have to blow up as a spicy Latina person at them for the dumb. There are things that it's oh, we just have to talk about it, and then that's it.
It really is that easy.
Yeah,
it gets a little
nobody's shouting. There's no temper tantrum things happening, and then
we're not throwing shit at each other.
Yeah, we can still have makeup sex for a disagreement, and that's fun, whatever. But yeah, it's. I want to see that on TV. I want to see that and understand
Or even because I get the whole it's still needing to have conflict, but still having that conflict there, but handling it in a way that is healthy. I do believe is so important, or like having some type of content out there that demonstrates that. Because what show were you talking about? Like, I haven't seen it, but
You haven't also seen it, but like the premise I think is like a guy is a stalker and like
and now
people
he's
love
a serial
it.
killer.
And like they hate love, you know, whatever. And like, I mean, sure, like I love me a good fucking awful TV show. I'm not gonna throw my favorites out there, but you know, like, yes, I love bad TV sometimes. I love unrealistic things, sci-fi, like that's my shit. I know it's not real, but like I love it. Obviously, I'm not modeling my life after Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, but
something that I have seen happen more that I thoroughly appreciate for shows that have high trauma or like certain topics is that warning, that trigger warning. Or if you know someone, like a lot of things that have to do with domestic abuse or that have to do with suicide or like,
sexual assault.
Yes, there is a trigger warning now. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because it is like
the disclaimer to say this is not okay.
Yes, this is in here. And if you know someone that is dealing with this, there is a hotline, there is help. Like, and it gives you that, like your brain, and for others that are watching and maybe don't have healthy relationships in their lives or don't know what that looks like, there's that little caveat, that little something that's like, BT dubs, what you're about to see, it's fiction, and also not fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. And there's an element of it that is not okay. And there are resources for you or for people that you know that are in these situations. And I love that is happening, because a lot of people, the general majority population who watches television, I feel don't have the same resources to people that are in healthy relationships, or it's taken them a while to get to that point, and like cycles have had to repeat, and that you've got to do something.
I mean, you do what you know, you do what you see.
Yes.
You mimic I mean, yeah, that's like if you come from a home that is kind of toxic, you may or may not be able to pursue non-toxic relationships in your future.
Right.
I mean, like it's hard. It's hard not to I don't know anyone who's like, oh, I've never been in a toxic relationship. Like, I guess I've never also polled people, but like I know most of my friends have had one toxic relationship. Mm-hmm. Many of my friends have had a stalker of sorts. Like I had a weird fucking guy that was like really toxic, and I was terrified because I was like, I don't know what you're capable of. Like,
yes,
you know, I mean, that's so normalized that it's like, oh, you just deal with it and move on. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's obviously good to be aware that that's something that can happen to you, but also being seen, I think, or seeing ways of deflecting or like how to get out of that situation is more important.
Yes, that too, like the aftermath, like, or like making sure you don't fall into that, or when you do, how do you get out? But no, like, yes, this is something that we don't like about television, but it's a double-edged sword. It's because 1010, these stories, these situations are important to also see, like, oh, wait a minute, like because sometimes when you're in something, when you're in a terrible situation, toxic relationship, like whether it's mentally abusive, physically abusive, or like the different signs, like when you're in it, sometimes you don't see it.
Yeah.
You have blinders on. Love makes you fucking stupid. And like other people are telling you these things and you genuinely do not see it. And it takes like being pulled out of that or seeing someone else in the situation for it to be like, oh, that's terrible. And then you have to, like, oh my God, wait a minute. That's happened to me, or I'm in this now. And it almost makes you like question yourself of like, oh, this isn't okay. It takes someone else or someone else's story to pull it all together. So it's, hate that it's out there. I hate that it's a driving force in television sometimes, and that's like a good majority of what we see. But at the same time, it's like, oh, we're like, as storytellers, so that we can hold a mirror up to ourselves, to society, to things, it's needed. Because hopefully, I think we're like, I know we're moving in that direction in our storytelling. Like, majority of the time, it's like, hey, like, I know we're telling this, but like, not okay. Here are the resources. Here's what you can do. Like, if you know someone, like, try and help. Like, like, as we dive deeper into that, I'm like, oh, entertainment. Like, how I love and hate you.
What a love hate.
Yes. Okay. So, y'all, go ahead. Oh no.
Tell us, do you have a favorite show, movie, scene, example of like a healthy relationship? Please drop it in the comments below. Drop your favorite or least favorite toxic-y relationship, movie, show, scene also. And your thoughts, feelings about them. I mean, yeah, some of them are educational now and are having the trigger warnings, and some of them are still just shit that we don't need. So thoughts, feelings are welcome. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
Bye.